She wanted to know how to fulfill all of one's desires. So I was thinking, that would be nice. Does anyone else want to fulfill all of their desires? Yes? Lalita, you want to fulfill all your desires? Tanu, you want to fulfill all your desires? Stella, yes?
I want to, but I know it's not what's best for me.
Yes, that's... Yeah, so let's... you don't have one life, you have many lifetimes, but... Yeah, so you have one shot at this one, so you want to fulfill all your desires. So I'll tell you the secret to fulfilling all of your desires. So it's very nice. It's a very nice secret. And a lot of times we forget. We might learn this teaching, and then in certain portions of our life, we remember, oh yes, I can do this. All of my desires will be filled, and I'll be rightly situated. But as soon as we get caught up in trying to fulfill the desire, we forfeit the ability to actually fulfill our desires. Because we operate on another system. Instead of having the cheat code for life that'll fulfill everything, then instead we will, we'll operate on another system which has stringent laws and restrictions, and this is called karma. So, and for Tanu's sake, Tanu was also telling me last night that she really likes when I tell pastimes. Much better than when I speak philosophy and all these things and I have to, get all technical and also start, hey, we're on a miserable material world and we're on the pathway to hell, and no one likes to hear all that for so long. Especially ladies, it's not in their makeup to like to hear as much. They like, please, just tell me a story, something. So I'm going to tell a story today. I told the story yesterday during Bhagavatam class, and I wasn't going to tell it again today, but then I was listening to my class while I was cooking, and then I said, oh my God, he's telling the same story I told yesterday. But then he told it in a way which was much better, and I said, okay, I have to share all these extra details that I missed yesterday. So it was like Krishna's confirmation for me. So, but first though, we're going to combine it with, No, I'm not going to Facebook. We're going to combine it with, I think who picked I think it was Tanu or Divyanshu. They picked that I picked this topic on how to fulfill all of one's desires. Was it you, Tanu? It was Divyanshu. Okay. You're both one, so no problem. So, okay, so this one's for Divyanshu, so I hope he gets to join for it. 5 minutes, okay. So by the time we do Mangalacharana, you'll be ready. Okay. So, I'm confused how this all works. That's okay. And then where's the Mangalacharana here? Okay. So let's start with our Mangalacharana. We cannot get anything in this world. Actually, this is going to be the secret. If you can understand Mangalacharana, you'll know how to fulfill all of your desires, actually. How all of your desires will be fulfilled. But if you forget about Mangalacharana, and I'll explain what Mangalacharana is, then you have to operate on the other system, in which you'll get a certain amount of desires, but you have to pay an appropriate price for your desires. Like if you go to the job, you have to work hard, and then you get a paycheck. And so you get that much desires based on the work. That's called karma. Everyone has a certain karma. They're born in a certain family. They're born into certain circumstances. They have a certain education, they can get a certain job, they have certain skills and talents inherited by their family, and that's what they get. That's the ticket they bought in this world. It's like a plane ticket. But if you want to actually unlock the cheat code in which you can fulfill all of your desires, you're going to have to operate on a different system. You can't do the karma because you don't have enough, you don't have the unlimited merit of karma. It will eventually wear out, like you can only do so many pious deeds and only get so many, you have to pay to play, so to say. But this one you don't have to pay to play. This one is on a completely different operating system, and basically, if you please the supreme controller of all existence, by his nature, he'll fulfill all of your desires. So you don't have to do anything else except just strive to please him. But the only issue is that we don't want to please him. We have no interest in him at all. And we have a selfish tendency instead. Like, no, I just care about my desires. I don't care about him. I don't care about my relationship. But little do we know that even if we were really selfish and all we want to do is fulfill our desires, if we just cared about him, that would just naturally happen. That's just a natural part of the package. So anyway, we'll do a verse in Bhagavad Gita that talks about this. But the secret is Mangalacharana. So pay attention during this part where we say prayers and we are very thankful to our gurus for opening up our eyes and engaging us in this bhakti process. And we are praying to them for this descending mercy of the Lord to come through them to us. And only by their mercy can we have anything good ultimately in the long run in our life. So,
Do you have the microphone? I was trying to listen on Facebook. It's not very loud.
I can't hear you. You can't hear me?
On Facebook, you can't hear very well.
It's pretty hard usually.
I have it all the way up in here.
I'm a pretty loud person.
I know, but
On YouTube it's better.
it might be something about the phone or I don't know. But anyway, use the microphone.
It said something about some audio thing on the.
I don't know.
Okay,
So
well.
just use my phone.
Okay. So, hopefully this isn't too much of an issue. I feel like a little pompous, I'm quite loud already and then now I'm going to really be screaming at you guys. So.
Maybe another time you can fix the phone audio.
Okay. Haribol. So, the things men do to please their wives.
I'm not even listening on Facebook anymore.
What's that?
It's not to please me. I'm not even listening.
Oh, okay. So is anyone else? Does anyone even listen on Facebook?
Your mom's on the Facebook.
My mom is on
Greg
Facebook.
listens on Facebook.
Okay. So it's very good. Hello, Mom. How are you doing? My mother is actually worried that I'm going to die going to India because this Nipah has it's like the new flesh-eating virus. They're probably gonna the powers that be are gonna weave into the next pandemic. Is now arising in the exact spot that I'm flying into. Isn't that wonderful? So anyway, she's like calling me, like asking me not to go and all these things. I'm like, no, I'm definitely gonna go. But anyway. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't die of Nipah, and if I do die of Nipah, then hopefully I get to go back to Godhead or closer to Godhead. That would be very nice. So anyhow, I hope I don't die for you. Let's chant to glorify our gurus. Om Jnana Timirandasya Sorry. What's the issue here?
Abhiram effect.
When Abhiram strikes. Oh, it's that one. Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhani Sute Pranamami Hari Hari Panchakalpatarushya Kripasi Sindhu Yevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtachade Shatarine. So I first offer my obeisances to my guru and gurus in my life, Diksha, Shiksha, and even Vartma Pradarshika gurus, which are the people who are showing us the way to Krishna, the original people. Also, all of the Vaishnavas, like yourselves, and also past, present, and future, which actually includes all of the living entities in existence, because the true nature of every living entity is to be a servant of Krishna. That's what we were created to do. And so if we actually do that, we can actually fulfill the soul's ultimate destiny and get the soul's ultimate destination. But before that all happens, we have this. We are studying Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 11. This is just after Krishna reveals his divine nature. You know, you've heard Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatpataha Tyaktva Janma Punar Janma Tyaktva Janma Naitimam Eti Sarjana. Thank you. That's a famous verse. And the one who knows the divine characteristics, the divine nature of Krishna's Janma and his karma, his birth and his activities, no longer has to take birth in this material world of suffering. So this is, and they get to go to him instead. So that's wonderful. And then he starts revealing this thing here. So, repeat after me. Ye yata mang prapadyante Tang stataiva bhajamyaham Mama vartmanu vartante Manushya partha sarvashaha. Someone else do it. Ye yata mang prapadyante Tang stataiva bhajamyaham Mama vartmanu vartante Manushya partha sarvashaha. Okay. Yea. All of them. Yata. As. Mam. Unto me. Prapadyante. And they serve or surrender. Tang. Tams. Or tan. Unto them. Tathaiva. Or tatha means so. Eva means certainly. Bhajami means do I reward. It also means actually I worship. So the reward is actually, but actually Krishna, bhajan means to worship. So Krishna actually worships us too. So bhajami, do I reward, or even worship. Aham, I, mama, my, vartma, path, anuvartante, do follow, manushya, all men, partha, O son of Pita, sarvashaha, in all respects. So it means, all of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pita. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is searching for Krishna and the different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence and as the all-pervading Supersoul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is only fully realized by his pure devotees. So everyone's looking for Krishna. Even when you're like looking to fulfill your desires, you're just looking for an aspect of Krishna. In the first place, we just don't know it's an aspect of Krishna, but actually all it is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. But if we knew that, and if we just exclusively sought Krishna directly, then all the other aspects of Krishna would very easily just come to our life. But yeah, we forget that thing, and then we hyper focus on like, no, I want this specific thing in the material world and part of the material energy, and I have to put a lot of effort and time to chase this thing. When instead, if you just serve Krishna and you really have faith in that and you do it, then Krishna can actually take care of all these things, and including all of your silly desires. Because a lot of our desires are silly. If we really diagnose our desires are temporary and they're not ultimately in connection with our ultimate good. But Krishna will still fulfill all those desires, no problem. That's not an issue for him. But he actually does it in such a way that you won't want to make silly desires in the future. So devotees have really funny ways from which they get their desires fulfilled, and then they also get a lot of realization from those desires. Like, oh, that actually doesn't make me happy either. Because actually our desires don't make us happy. We think, yes, if I fulfill my desires, I'll be happy, but it's never worked before. You've had so many desires fulfilled already in your life. You wanted this, you wanted to get this job, you wanted to go to this school, you wanted to marry this woman, you wanted to, get this boyfriend, you wanted to do this, that, and the other. But like, did it work? Did you get like ultimate satisfaction? No, it's temporary satisfaction. I can't wait till the new iPhone comes out. And then you get the new iPhone. And then it's just a piece of crap after 2 days. You're like, oh, that's just my phone. You don't care about it anymore. Or you want to get a new car, and I'll be so happy when I get a new car. And then you get the car, and then after a week, then it's just like old news. Like, all right, it's just my car. Maybe you don't like that, how expensive it is, or how much you're paying for it, and so on. So this is the nature of this world. This is the nature of karma. And if we engage in karma, what is karma? Someone tell me. Divyanshi, you tell me what karma is.
Basically, whatever we have done, whatever things we have done in the past, what we are doing now.
Yes.
It's related to our destiny, so that.
So karma means actions and reactions, which are results of our actions. So if we exist on the platform of karma, meaning we work hard for certain results, and we want the results of our actions. Everybody, except a very few people in this material world, are operating on the platform of karma. Meaning they get exactly what the laws of nature naturally distribute for those actions. So you reap what you sow. If you work hard in the field and you plant good seeds and you water everything and you time everything nicely with the nature properly, you'll get certain rewards and fruits. But the devotee actually, this is a very tough path, and you can only, you only get a certain lot. Like, there's many hardworking people in this world. Does hard work necessarily mean better results? Why not? Yes, she says yes. How so?
Because you may not get the results immediately, but one day or the other, you definitely, hard work does pay off.
Yes, they say hard work pays off. But actually, if we understand karma, that's not necessarily true. Hard work does pay off, but hard work now doesn't pay off now. It doesn't pay off now. What's paying off now is all your hard work in the past. You've done so many hard work. I'll give you an example. There's so many hard-working blue-collar workers, they call them. In India, they might call them the Shudras. They work so hard, day and night, hard, work. Shovel this and build that. And they might be working, their veins are bulging out all day. All they do is just lug things around and move them, working very hard. But how come they're not the most wealthy people in the world? How come they're not the most rewarded people in the world? Because hard work doesn't pay off. It doesn't actually pay off. Hard work is just, in the future, yes, if they work hard towards certain goals, they will build all of the things, and in the future they can get that karma. But that's not ultimately what pays off. So this is yes, and Lalita's disturbed, like, oh my God, I've been working very hard because I think it's going to pay off. It's not actually. Why? Because you might not be aware of the higher system. Karma is very stringent. You will get the results, and if you follow a certain protocol, you'll get the results. So most of the Vedas are actually this called karma kanda. How to properly do your karma so that you get the good results that you want. Yes. So, but there's a whole another better system, a much higher system. What's a higher system? Mukunda, you can tell me a higher system. Bhakti. In between bhakti and karma, there's another system that in which you also you don't get implicated by karma. Actually, we don't want to be involved in karma because karma, do you know, there's a certain result that comes from karma. Does anyone know? Dukkha is misery? Yes, it's suffering, actually. Mamaya vamsha jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manasthastan indriyani, prakritistani karshati. We're situated in this material world, and what do we get? Suffering. That's what happens here. That's what happens when you engage in karma. Work hard for the result. And guess what? It doesn't come on your time, and it's very difficult, and you put in a lot of hard work, and you get very little to actually show for it. And you suffer, actually. But there's a better way. Would you like to know the better way? Oh, Tanmay is here. Yes.
Go with the flow.
Just go with the flow. Yeah, you could go with the flow of karma, but that's not going to help. Then you're still in the waves of karma. So Krishna, he says, what's the first thing he says? What's the first solution he says in relation to karma? Actually, it might be the chapter. Are we in it? No. What's that? Surrender. That's a high conclusion. What's the first thing he does? Hare Krishna.
Hear about
No. That's a really high Bhagavad Gita. And the first thing he tells Arjuna is to do his duty, but don't be attached to the results. So stop working for the results of your karma. You just do your duty, but offer it ultimately the results up to destiny or God as you know it. He doesn't reveal his actual nature yet. So actually, Prabhupada said nicely in this purport, everybody's looking for Krishna. They just don't know. So everyone is, we're all associating with Krishna's energies. So the Christians are worshipping Krishna. The Muslims are worshipping Krishna. Everybody's worshipping Krishna. They just might not identify or know that. But people who study Krishna consciousness or study Bhagavad Gita or study the words of Krishna, they realize, oh yes, I've been worshipping Krishna my whole life. But, and this verse says it, everyone follows my path in all respects. You're just following the paths of Krishna, but he's got higher and lower and better paths. So if you follow the karma path, his karma path, this is a very foolish path because the result is suffering. It's not that your hard work's going to pay off. That's the illusion. You think, oh yes, if I work hard in this world, it's going to pay off for me. No, it doesn't work that way. It'll pay off later in the future. You've bought a nice ticket for what you want in the next life, but you're not going to be able to finish it all in this life. It's not going to work that way. What you get now is the ticket you've bought for all the things you've done previously. And now that ticket has to fully come out. Like just look at, Abhiram. Abhiram might have some great aspirations right now. But what is Abhiram going to get? Whatever me and my wife give him. Practically his whole younger years. That's all he can really get. You're totally at the mercy of your parents. You can't really choose, no, I'd like to do this with my education. No, you don't choose. It's just, you're completely subjected to it. And then you spend your whole life acting like your parents because that's what they taught you to do. And then you're just a product of that. And that's karma. And then by the time you get your own desires in this world, maybe you're older and things, then you're running out of time to actually fulfill them. And then eventually time goes on and you can't fulfill all of them. So guess what? All material desires are left over. What do you do next at death? Again you take birth because you have to fulfill those desires. So, this is a problem if we're being implicated in karma. Krishna, he next says karma yoga. He says, do your duty, just do your duties, whatever is there. Don't stop doing anything you're doing. But, whatever it is, don't be attached to the results. Don't do it for your own desires. Just don't do that. Do it because that's what's to be done. That's what's being called to you, and offer the results to me. So people in karma yoga, they might donate a portion of their results of their work, to a righteous cause or to God in the best way they may understand Him. Maybe their local church, their local temple, maybe the Brahmins, the Vaishnavas, something like that. And that's karma yoga. But then there's a higher system than that, and Mukunda talked about it. Yes, bhakti. But what is bhakti? We think we say so many bhakti, but actually we in the name of bhakti we practice so much actually karma yoga. And we're not actually doing bhakti. But what is actually bhakti? Someone tell me.
Worship
Worship who?
Krishna.
Okay, worship of Krishna. Yes. With what type of mood? Is it worship of Krishna where you get, alright Krishna, I'm worshipping you, but where's my paycheck? Where's my desires?
Selfless service.
Yeah, that's the best form of bhakti. That's Uttam bhakti.
Out of love.
Yes, it's out of love. With some love, favorable service to Krishna. This is bhakti, and even and if it's not covered by our own desires, karma, jnana, are also this wanting to achieve knowledge, wanting to know so many things. Not be covered with mystic abilities, I want to achieve this state of transcendence or something like this. Or renunciation, wanting to, be fully practiced in the Vedas and renounce. I want to be detached from all material desires. If any of those desires are there, that's not pure bhakti. What is pure bhakti? Is that only which is favorable purely for Krishna's service. So then, okay, how do we do that? How do we know what Krishna wants?
His representative.
His representative, that's good. That's
Shastra.
Shastra.
His son.
So Krishna tells us things in the like say the Bhagavad Gita. He's telling us what he wants and what to do, what's the higher conclusion, so we can study these things. And then actually his representative, it's more confidential, but that actually the way to connect to Krishna, the way his mercy comes actually is through his devotee. That's how Krishna's mercy comes. That's what the whole point of being a devotee is to be a representative of Krishna. And that's why Krishna gives the devotees service, so they can actually render service. He can just do everything if he wants. He can just snap his finger. But actually, to the exchange of service and love between him and his devotee is much more dear to him. So he won't take the devotee's service away. It's not that he's, I'm praying to you, Krishna, please, Krishna, do this, do that, do this. How is he going to do it? It's actually through the devotee. That's how Krishna's mercy comes in his life. But it depends what you're approaching him. If you're just approaching Krishna for karma, everyone is. They're praying to God for, I want the results of my actions. They're just engaging in karma. And then the Lord will show them the way to get that. Okay, get this type of job, and you work this type of hours, and you can work hard for this long, and if you just measure it, you'll save enough, and you'll get what you want. And then you do it. But then there's a completely different operating system is here. It's all of them as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. So if you actually surrender unto Krishna, then he'll actually, the more you surrender, the more he'll reward you. And it's not, his rewards are much better than our rewards. If we can kind of put our desires to the side and say, all right, I'm going to trust Krishna's rewards. And I'm going to try to surrender unto you. And everyone's level of surrender is different right now. But if you do that, you're going to get rewarded accordingly. Like, for instance, I wanted to be a professional baseball player when I was a kid. I used to sit there with my toy bat, and I used to be like, bah! And I would imagine I'm hitting home runs, and yeah, this is going to be me one day. And then I got out there in the very competitive field of baseball, and I realized, and also, my family genetics are a little different. So when I got to high school, because I bought a certain ticket in this world, but my family genetics were that I was to hit puberty way later than everyone else. And so when everyone was in high school playing sports, even with skill, I had just as much skill with everyone, but just my body wasn't the same, They were going to be much more excelled than me. So anyhow, it didn't work out. My desires to be a professional athlete didn't work out in this world, actually. And I tried my best, and then I realized this is not, I can't do this. This is way too competitive. This is way too beyond my capabilities. And, my whole life, many of my desires, I realized I didn't buy a ticket for the karma for this in this lifetime. I don't have that's not my destiny. And that's okay. Because actually what Krishna gave me instead, I'm so happy now that I didn't become a professional baseball player. What a waste of my time. I'd have to spend so much time training in baseball to play like a child's game. To smack balls with a stick. What's the point of that? But as a child, that's what I wanted. So sometimes when you don't fulfill your desires, it's healthy. But if you surrender to Krishna and He gives you what He gives you, if you actually understand it, you'll see this is the greatest thing. But don't worry. Krishna's pure devotee. No matter what desire is there, He will fulfill it. That is for sure. Whatever is left, when one becomes surrendered to Krishna, He'll fulfill that desire. So no matter what, if you have all your material desires, everything, the best way to do it is just go to Krishna. Krishna will give it. Jesus even says this. And seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added unto you. It's easy, actually. But we're not so intelligent. No. We said, no. Seek ye first that thing, and then I'll get that thing. That's what we say. But that's very foolish. And then, so you have to work very hard to get those things. And then eventually you do get them, no problem. But your result is going to be suffering. You're going to have to grind it out. And grind and grind and grind and grind. But the devotees were not interested. And Krishna is not interested in us participating in this. But He gives it for those who aren't, they're not clear in their goal and they're not sincere in the goal, where they're like, alright, I actually should want God. I should want to actually put my own desires to the side and pursue God. So He recommends bhakti. How does He do bhakti? Some say, loving service to Him. And then how do you do that? Through His representative. So what actually happens if one really wants to do bhakti, that you have a guru. You have a devotee you follow that you feel this devotee is representing Krishna in my life. It's called the guru. And this person is so much and then actually we sing a song every morning called the Gaurvastakam, which describes what a guru is like. So if you're like, well, I don't know who's a guru, is this guy a guru, are you a guru? A guru in the morning, if we sing Samsara Davana Lalita Loka Trinaya Karunya Gana Ganatam Prapta Sikalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. And this is describing Samsara Davanala, this forest fire of this material world is afflicting the whole world. But delivering mercy like a merciful rain cloud. From His ocean of wonderful qualities, He's showering that mercy everywhere. I offer my obeisances to such a person. So when you find such a person, this is called guru. And what they do, it's also described further in the song. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasora Sena Romancha Kamba Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. So Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita. So in Mahaprabhu's, they're engaged in kirtan. Nritya is dancing. Gita is singing. Vaditra playing musical instruments. Madhyan happily, gladdened. Manasora Sena, they're tasting that nectar while doing all these things. Their hair actually, and when they engage in these things, Romancha, the hair stands on end. Kampa, the body actually trembles in ecstasy. Ashru, and even tears will come to them. Vande Gurush, I offer my obeisances to that type of Guru's lotus feet. So this Guru is described, that's why Prabhupada, he put this in the Mangal Arati. He's describing what the Guru is. And when your desire becomes their desire, just to please them, because they are your ticket to Krishna. That's your ticket to pleasing Krishna. So when you put your desires aside and fully want to only please them, then guess what will happen? One, you'll be engaged in bhakti and you'll become blissful, because that's the nature of bliss. When you're only trying to serve that Sri Guru, and you'll become blissful, and then also what will happen is, just as a secondary thing, all your desires will get fulfilled, because that's you've pleased the source of all desires, which is Krishna. We sing in the Kartik month. Vadam deva mokshana moksha badhimba nachanyam braneham barishadapiha idam teva purnatha gopala balam sadame manasya virastam kimanye. Vadam deva, so he's saying the desire for the benediction of moksha, of liberation, freedom from suffering. Na moksha vadhimba. I don't want that. I don't want that moksha. I don't want that. Na chanyam, nor any other desires. Varesham. And he's saying, who is Varesham? Is the Lord who fulfills all desires. That's Krishna. Krishna actually, Isha is the controller, who Vara are desires or benedictions, who gives all benedictions. Abhiha, he doesn't want all that. He says, Idam teva purnatha. I just want to see your bodily form. Gopala balam. There's Balagopal. Like Mukunda had brought Balagopal here on Janmashtami. Was it last Janmashtami? Or 2 Janmashtamis ago? 2 Janmashtamis now. Balagopal's been here a while. Sadame manasya virastam. So he says, always to my mind be manifest. This is all I desire. I don't want all these other things. But he's keying that Krishna can give anything you desire. Anything you desire, Krishna can easily give it. No problem. So anyone who's intelligent and they want to actually fulfill their desires, then they'll just give up that desire and you serve Krishna. And then Krishna will fulfill all those desires, but guess what? You don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to put any effort in that at all. It'll just happen. It'll get arranged. In my life, so many things have happened since the beginning of, trying to worship Krishna. And, you see it works. When someone involved in karma, they'll have to work so hard and maybe many lifetimes to achieve. The devotee very easily achieves. The devotee will easily achieve it. I'm seeing in my life, I have no college education. I dropped out of college, and I don't know how or other that house and enough finances and everything is there. A wife came, all these things. My mom told me, you'll definitely get none of these things. It's impossible. How can you do it? You'll be a monk. I was shaving my head like this. I was looking very goofy, and my mom was like, no, it's beautiful hair. You'll never get anyone. But actually, just by, not even caring, I didn't care. At one point in my life, I didn't care. Of course I wanted to have a wife. I did. But at the same time, I was just like, no, this thing I think is the best. I have faith in this. So I chose, and actually a wife came. Everything came. House somehow came. Enough. Just enough, but some finances, financial arrangements came. And so on. So all your desires will easily get fulfilled, and you don't have to work hard for them. I don't work hard to, all right, how are we gonna maintain it? Literally, I don't know how even everything arranged the way it did. Keshava Gopal, he called me up here, come on, let's start a temple and things like that. And I was like, all right, that sounds like a fun idea. And then we come up here and we, started doing these things. But we were just working because, both Keshava Gopal and I as gurus and Srila Prabhupada, that's what they wanted, to spread Krishna consciousness. So we just did it because it was that was what we do, and that was kind of fun. We would do it. And then everything came that I needed and wanted anyway. Wife and enough finances and this, that, and the other thing. I never could have imagined, Even a lot of the kids, not kids, but the people who graduated alongside of me, they immediately got jobs and big paychecks and everything, but the economy and everything in the world is so difficult that somehow or other I was having a house and everything before a lot of them. And I'm just shocked, how did, I have no material qualification. I don't work for it. Even out here, a lot of my work isn't managing all of the the financial element of things. There is some, I definitely have to do it, but the main thing is that if you focus on Krishna, everything you desire will come. It's easy actually, and you don't have to work at all for it. Doesn't that sound nice? You can get everything you desire, you don't have to work at all for it. But it comes with realization and sincerity. And what's the realization? That God is the topmost thing. And what's the sincerity? That God's representative is in my life, and that I should serve that person because they're going to give me Krishna. And let my desire become their desire. And if they're pleased, I'm pleased. And then guess what? Krishna will be so pleased with you, and then he's I love this person so much. What is this inner heart's desire of this person? Okay, this is what they want. I'll definitely give that thing to them. I'll definitely give it to them. Because he loves you. He'll do it easily. But if you get all of your own desires and you want to engage in karma, go for it. But you have to work really hard and suffer doing those things. I know because I still practice some karma. This year I had I had a little surplus of money and I wanted to invest it properly. And I said, okay, I'm going to look into investing and how to do this, that, and the other thing. And this was my karma, because I wanted to make money. That's what I thought I was supposed to do. But I kind of forgot what I was really supposed to do. It was just serve Krishna. That's what you really should do. And guess what I did instead? Instead of turning the money into all kinds of more money, I lost a ton of money. And I'm just like, because it was way more complicated than I realized, and the karma for that was, and if I wanted to engage in karma, a lot of times you don't get your desires and you get frustrated. And I experienced that already this year, and now I've decided no more. This is a bad idea. This is not a good thing for me. I'll just focus on Krishna. And he knows what I need. He always gives me enough, and I should be appreciative, and I should focus instead of what do my gurus want in my life, and what do our acharyas want, and this is the only thing that's important. And guess what? When I was doing that previously, Krishna gave me everything I needed and desired anyway. But as soon as we lose touch of that and we start engaging in karma, then you have to pay the results of karma, and karma means suffering. And you have to get frustrated and suffering and have all kinds of misfortunes come about in your life. So it's never recommended to engage in karma. The devotee wants to be free from karma. And how does the devotee become free from karma? They serve the representative of Krishna, which is Guru, and actually in the Diksha. And Diksha is not just a formularity. In the Diksha initiation, when the heart is fully given, the devotee really fully gives their heart to the Guru, then when that happens, the karma is removed. Because now the Guru has taken charge of the heart of that devotee, and then no more, they don't have to act on karma. Now they're just following Guru's orders. And so if you can come to that platform, and that's a high level of surrender, and that's a really high reward is coming also. Krishna is going to give a high reward. And as you surrender to Krishna, he rewards us accordingly. So, let's finish this, and then I want to tell you a story. Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. But Krishna is only fully realized by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. This is talking about the different mood of devotees when they worship. Like, I was just singing that song, I just want to see him in Bal Gopal. Satyavrata Muni, he wanted to see Krishna as like a parent, like in this Vatsalya Ras. But we, in our tradition, there's a certain mood that's recommended. But in the beginning, the healthy thing is I just want to be God's servant. I want to be Krishna's servant. And I can serve the Lord in this way. And so if you can begin like that, you can be very happy. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with different types of worshippers. The pure devotees both here and in the transcendental abode associate with him in person, and are able to render personal service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As for those who are impersonalists and want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by absorbing them into his effulgence. So no matter how you want to associate with Krishna, he lets you. So lets you, there's many yogis who want to merge with Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, I will show you this my impersonal nature, and you can also do that. So however people want to experience the Lord, like the Christians want to experience the Lord like in the form of Jesus Christ, the Muslims want to experience the Lord in a certain way, and Krishna, he lets everybody approach him exactly how they want. Krishna also helps. Okay, such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them who are not situated even in the impersonal existence return to this material field to exhibit their dormant desires for activities. They are not admitted in the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets. For those who are fruitive workers or engaged in karma, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yogeshwar, and those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. So everything's approaching Krishna. Just, are you approaching Krishna for the results of something? I want to succeed in my PhD program, or I want to succeed in this career field. We have a lot of Indians in the room. You guys are very career-oriented, very career-driven people. Actually, the ones here are, because you've done so many things. You're here on a career mission. So that's fine. You'll get all these things that you want, you're working hard for them. But if you, I'm trying to tell you a cheat code from which you can get all those things you want, but also, you can get something much better. And that's what Krishna is saying here. So, unless therefore one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect, as is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a very famous verse. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tibrene bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one is without desire, like the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So, and I can give you an example in my life. Just the other day, I was worshipping the deities, and I was upset that these deities aren't properly installed. These deities are not properly installed, where we didn't really invite Krishna here properly, and I feel bad about that. And I'm doing all this worship like that we're supposed to do, but these deities aren't bona fide. These aren't Shastric deities. So I was kind of lamenting this, and I was like, Krishna, I really want to worship you properly. I really want to worship you how you recommended to be worshipped. I really want to invite you here properly. And I was meditating on all the different ways maybe some of the gurus in my life would be willing to properly install these deities. It's very rare I have a pure desire like this. A lot of times I'm desiring, we gotta adjust this and financially adjust like this and these things. There's so many other desires coming, but at time to time I get a decent desire. And this desire was good. So Krishna was like, oh, that's a very nice desire. He literally the next day, I guess that day, Anuradha, the local devotee here, she had these amazing installed deities by one of the great saints we know who friends of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Narayan Maharaj. And she was juggling so many things in her life, and I guess she had something happen in such a way that she was just feeling bad that she couldn't take care of these properly installed amazing deities how she really wanted to. So somehow or other in her brain she got the idea that she should, she really liked what we were doing here, the way we take care of the deities, and that we should take care of the deities. Because just imagine how quickly Krishna moved in her life and in our life. The next day she tells my wife that's what she wanted. And I'm just shocked. I'm like, wow. Krishna really does. Immediately. I just had one decent desire and Krishna's like, oh yes, very good. That's very nice. I'll immediately do it. And then they just came here, yesterday or on Friday for Nityananda Trayadashi. That's amazing, actually. It's like a miracle. Another example in my life. I was newly married to my wife. And, we were married in India, but we were about to do our American wedding. If you ever look at it on YouTube, somehow or other, we almost like 1 million views on this American wedding that we did. And somehow our friend made a video. But right before we got married, I wanted to have a proper career. I wanted to take care of her. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to have everything situated for her. But at the same time, I wanted to, and I was listening to the devotees in my life. They got me the job, everything. But I really wanted to maintain my Krishna consciousness, do all my sadhana. I really wanted to do everything that I could to connect to Krishna. Study, chant, this, that, and the other. So these are kind of good desires, to develop these desires. I want to maintain my services to Krishna in my life. So I went to the job, and it was very difficult. Because the job, even though I was working with devotees, it was a prasadam restaurant, or a prasadam granola company, and I was the head chef. They gave me like the head chef job, and they because they really they were nice devotees and they wanted to. But just due to the nature, they were the nice devotees, but they were working in the front. In the back was a different arrangement. In the back was hard work and grueling, and it wasn't just devotees back there. It was everyone back there. So anyway, didn't work out how I wanted. And I remember just being really upset with losing my my abilities to connect with Krishna and my sadhana and things. And I was waking up early just to go to work. Instead of waking up early and chanting and doing what I wanted to do, I'm just waking up early, I'm going to work, and it's just go, 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 and yes, okay, factory, let's go, 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 and it was just terrible. And so, but I was like, no, I'm going to chant. And I'm doing my morning prayers, and I'm working. And then some devotee, and this was my sign to Krishna that you shouldn't be here. And then some devotee came over to me and said, "What are you doing?" He was my senior. And I was like, "What? I'm singing." He's like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, yes, I definitely should do that. Chanting the holy name is the best thing you should do in all of existence. We know this. For whatever reason, he had some other weird idea. It wasn't bona fide. But anyway, he was the only other devotee I was back there working with, so I was just really disturbed. This is the one devotee I have to work with, and he's demanding I don't chant the holy name. So I said, I was already struggling and everything else, and that was just the final straw, where Krishna's I don't want to be here, I don't care. I don't need the money. I didn't need the money, but I don't want the money. If that means that I lose my devotional life, screw the money. It's terrible. I'd rather go to hell. I'd rather my marriage fall apart. So for me, it was a level of surrender in my life. I'd rather my marriage fall apart. I'd rather have no money, and it's fine. So I quit the next day. And right after I quit, the devotees, I understood there was some other drama going on there, why it didn't work out. But that next day, what ended up happening is I get a call from the unemployment office, and I was trying to get in contact with them for over 1.5 years. I had an unresolved claim with them. And lo and behold, there was this really kind of mean-spirited lady, and she was saying, if you don't call us back within 1 hour, we're closing your case for good. That's it. I'm done. And really mean about it. I was like, oh my God. And I looked down, it was 20 minutes ago. I just quit. 20 minutes ago, she makes this call, and I said, I only have 40 minutes to make this call. So another 20 minutes, I got home, I made the call, and then I had to argue with her for why I deserved money for my unemployment case. It was right before COVID, and after COVID, you couldn't get in contact with the unemployment people because everyone was contacting them. So what ended up happening? I got more money for that one day than I would have got the whole year for that job. The whole year, I got that more money that one day than I would have got the whole year. That money I actually invested in silver, which ended up doing really well this year anyway, but I ended up, that was the thing that bought this house. And Krishna just gave it. I didn't work for that at all. He just gave it. COVID and unemployment and all these government benefits. He just gave it. I wouldn't have got it. She might have canceled the case. I don't know if she really would have, but she might have canceled the case if I didn't quit that exact day. At that exact time. Is that not a miracle? Yes? So what do you think is better, karma or bhakti? Then why would you want to do karma? Don't do karma. I'll tell you one more story, and not from me, but from the Shastras. So one time, there was a Narada Muni was traveling through the forest, walking through this material world. And Narada Muni, he's always chanting the glories of Narayan or Radha and Krishna, and he was chanting, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Haribo. So he's joyful, but then all of a sudden he sees a boar lying on the ground. And this boar is like, he's struggling for his life, and he's been shot with arrows, and one portion of his body is limp, and he's just struggling, trying to get through his life. And so Narada Muni is so disturbed by this. He's like, oh my God, oh my goodness, I wonder what has happened. I wonder why that animal had to go through that. And then he keeps walking, and he's like, oh, okay. And up ahead, he sees a rabbit, the same thing, struggling for its life, arrows through it. He's like, oh my, this is terrible. Who is doing this? And he sees one or two more animals like this. And then next in the distance, he sees, oh, this is why. There's a big, dark, ferocious man, wild man in the forest, and he's hiding behind a tree, and he's aiming his bow at something else. But Narad Muni, he's an effulgent saint, and he's a pure devotee. So he goes, and he immediately he steps near the hunter, and the animal heard Narad coming, and the animal, once they hear that someone's nearby, they run away immediately. So the hunter turned, and he was so angry, and he said, who dares to interrupt my hunting? And he's like a big, ferocious type of personality. And so this hunter, he turns towards Narad, and he says, and before seeing him, he says, like, how dare you come and disturb my, how dare you come and disturb my hunting? But then he sees Narad, and Narad is just beautiful. Let's get a picture of Narad Muni here. Narad is beautiful. He's more beautiful than this painting. But Narad Muni is beautiful, golden dreads, just looking so beautiful and wonderful. And he himself has just so much Shakti. Then as soon as Mrgari, or this hunter, Mrgari, his name? Well, I'll tell you. So as soon as Narad Muni sees him, Mrgari sees the Narad Muni. What ended up happening is that he couldn't speak. Because he was just so stunned at how beautiful he was and how wonderful he looked like, that he just, instead of getting mad, he was just like, But then all of a sudden, when his senses came to, and he was a little humbled by how beautiful Narad was, he said, why would you disturb my hunting? You know, more innocently, not with anger. Why would you disturb my hunting? And Narad Muni, he said, well, I was walking through this forest, and I just saw a really disturbing sight. I saw this pig half dead, and then this rabbit half dead, and then this animal half dead. And I was just disturbed, wondering how you're doing this. And I wanted to go ask you why you were doing this. And he's like, well, my name is Mrgari. Mrgari means I'm the enemy of animals. My father, he taught me this. We've been hunting for generations. And when we hunt, it's very boring. You don't want to hunt and have, you have to wait for a long time and then killing them. It's very boring. So my father taught we can find some pleasure. If we only half kill the animals, we can watch them suffer and see them, suffer, and it gives some little type of pleasure. My father has taught me this. So Narad Muni was like, and imagine such a personality. There are people like this who exist in the world. They get pleasure from, torturing and hurting others, serial killers and all these crazy people. So imagine this type of personality is who Narad Muni ran into. So then, Narad Muni, he said, well, this is not good. And he's like, do you know what type of destination you'll get for this? You know. Oh, actually, no, he said this. He said, I wish to beg some alms from you. So sages, you know, it's Vedic culture that when you meet an advanced sadhu or sage, that advanced people in Vedic culture, they always want to give gifts when they see such a personality. That they give some gift to such a personality. So if and the sadhu, they don't need anything, and they don't want anything, but if they want to help somebody, like Prabhupada did this many times. He wanted to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam throughout, and they didn't want, and then he said, could you just please give me a glass of water? And just by that person giving them a glass of water, then they served Prabhupada and they built what's called Sukriti, or this, they built some piety. And it's pleasing to Krishna, so now they're actually eligible for something better. So Narad Muni, he wanted to make him eligible to have a better life. So he said, could I beg some alms of you? And he says, yes, what would you like? I'll give you the skin of bears, I can give you the skin of tigers, I can give you this thing. And Narad said, I don't want any of these unclean things. So he said, I don't want this at all. My only boon is that when you hunt and you kill animals, you fully kill them and you don't have to kill them. So then Mrigari says, okay, but why do you want that? That's a strange thing to want. Why? He says, because you already are, when you die, you already will have each one of the animals that you kill waiting for you to kill you in successive life for thousands of lives over for your sins. You're just killing animals and animals and animals. And people who eat animals, you're not free. You're not free from the sins. It's not just the one who kills the animals. The karma is shared from the killer, the one who serves the animals, the one who prepares the animals, the one who cooks the animals, and then the one who eats it. Everybody is equally implicated. So if you eat, that's why it's a huge rule, do not eat animals. If you eat animals, you're sharing in the sin of that animal, and then you may have to be killed in a future life like the animal was. There are billions of animals every day being slaughtered in slaughterhouses. Why? Most likely because those animals were the slaughterers in many other lifetimes. Why are these animals implicated like this? So Narad told him this. So you have thousands upon thousands of lifetimes of being killed. I'm sorry, we're going a little late today. We started a little late. Narad Muni said, okay. And Mrigari then became very fearful. And Mrigari said, Guruji, please help me. How can I be free of these sins? I don't want to suffer lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And he said, do you really want to know? He said, yes, anything. He says, break your bow. I said, my bow? This is my career. This is my job. This is how I support my wife and my family. What do you mean, break my bow? And he says, yes, if you really want a better way, you break your bow. If you have faith in what I say, and if you really want me to deliver you from all these sins, this is the way. So Mrigari, he saw Narad, how beautiful he is and how much Shakti he is, and he says, okay, I have faith in him. And he breaks his bow in half, his big hunting bow. This is a big deal, that's his livelihood. Imagine, and we all have our own different bow in our life. We all have our own different material attachments, a way of life that we've been living for for our whole life, in a certain way that we do things. But Narad says, you want a better way? Break your bow. So Mrigari broke his bow. And then Mrigari said, well, now what? He says, you go set up a cottage. Get Brinda Devi, Tulsi. Set up a place for her, worship her, and then take some malas, string together some malas, and you just chant the holy names of the Lord. Chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, and so on. You guys want to keep going? You can. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So chant around your mala day and night, and just call to the Lord and worship Tulsi Devi. And then I'll make sure you have everything you need. So it's hard. I don't know if you've ever lived in the forest. Have you ever gone camping before? Who's gone camping? Yes. So if you go on camping and you don't have the supermarket to rely on, even though when we go camping we still pack a bunch of stuff from the supermarket, but if you were actually living in the forest, it's very difficult. Very difficult to hunt and provide for yourself and your family. It's very hard karma. You know, and then if you work hard and you kill animals, or if you work hard and climb trees and pick berries and forage for mushrooms or whatever you do in the forest, you know, you can get by day. But what ended up happening is that he followed Narad's instruction. And then also, you know, Narad, you know, I don't know if Narad was involved in this, but then the local townspeople, word got out that this fierce hunter Magari, this big, ferocious, dark man, he's now left that, and there's like a sage in the forest chanting. So this is what happened. They hear about this. There's this sage in the forest, and all he does is worship the Lord and worship Tulsi Devi, and all he does is chant all the time. And so when word got on the street that such a sage was existing in the place, the local village people, because in the Vedic culture, we said we have to go visit him and see and hear from the sage, but you have to bring a gift. So then they all started bringing different gifts. You know, this is actually proper culture. Even like you come to the temple, you come to the to meet with a devotee or a sadhu, you should always bring what's called a little dakshin or pranami. You know, something to offer them. You don't want to go empty-handed, actually. That's Vedic culture. So, of course, they're in India at this time, so they all understood Vedic culture. So they all went, and they bring so many things. Rice, and fruits, and this, that, and the other. And so this began happening in his life, and him and his wife would humbly accept, and he would teach them what his guru said. No, don't worry about all these things. Chant the holy names, you know, and teach them about the glories of such a process. So then, what ended up happening is Narada, sometime later, yesterday I told it he was traveling with Angira Rishi. I was wrong. It was Parvat Muni. He was traveling with Parvat Muni. And when he was traveling with Parvat Muni, he goes over and he says, I want to check on my devotee. And Parvat says, it's your devotee. We're in the middle of the forest. What devotee do you have out here? And so he says, no, we have to go meet my devotee Magari. Magari means like the enemy of animals. So he's Magari, okay. So Parvat Muni, they go over. And as they go, Narad Muni and Parvat Muni go, and they're both beautiful, effulgent sages. And Magari and his wife, they're worshipping the Lord, and they see from a distance. So they want to run over and pray, do Dandavat Pranams. But as Magari was about to bow down on the earth, all of a sudden he sees a bunch of little scurrying ants. Just scurrying ants. So he's like, oh no, I can't hurt them. You know, what's natural actually is that when devotees of the Lord, when you become a devotee of Krishna, you'll see Krishna in everything. Every living entity is also a part of Krishna. So naturally, what do devotees do? They don't want to hurt anything unnecessarily. You know, sometimes, you know, you might have some pests or something like that. You have to make a hard decision. Okay, like for instance, we had to kill cockroaches this year. We didn't like smash them, but we would poison them, and so it kind of like hurts. You know, you don't want to do that. I hope they just leave. But anyhow, the devotee doesn't want to even harm a single living entity because he sees that Krishna is in that entity. So Mrgari, he's before he's bowing, he's taking a piece of his cloth and he's getting all of the ants out of the way and gently guiding them on to their next destination so he can bow down and not hurt any other living entity. And Parvata Muni is just stunned. Like, who is this person? Is clearly a hunter. He's built like a hunter. He's, you know, and look at him. He doesn't even want to hurt an ant. Who is this devotee? And so they meet with Mrgari and Narada are having a discourse. And Narad says, oh, Mrgari, Have you been eating well? You were worried last time that you wouldn't have enough. I know you were working so hard to maintain yourself in this world. And Mrigari said, Guruji, please, I know you said that you would send people, but you're sending too much. We can't use all these things. We've actually had to go and start donating all of our excess to the people around us. We actually have too much. Please don't send anymore. You just send a little, we only need a little bit, So Narada, he said, oh, no, this is very good. This is very good. And Parvata Muni, he was shocked. And he turned to Narada. And he says, Narada, you are a Sparshamani. Does anyone know what a Sparshamani is? Sparsha means what? To touch, yes. And then money is what? A jewel, yeah. It's like a touch jewel. And what this touch jewel does is if you touch it, if you take this gem and you touch it to iron, even if it's rusty, crappy iron, it'll turn it to 100% pure gold. It's a Vedic legend. They would say, you're a Sparshamani. They would talk about the Sparshamani in legend, like this magical stone that if you touch it to something, it turns anything to gold. But Parvata Muni, he says this about Narada Muni. Just see, you just associated with this brutal hunter. And I remember in the beginning of the story, he was murdering animals and leaving them half dead. He was just a completely sick guy. But just by associating with Narada Muni and chanting the holy names of the Lord, not only did he have everything to provide for his family and more, but now at the same time he has, he's become so soft-hearted and kind and loving. So this is actually this is the result of associating with the sadhu. This is the result of associating with a pure devotee and following the pure devotee's order. And this is how all desires, and even better than your own desires, can be fulfilled. Mrigari had all kinds of perverted desires. He just wanted to kill animals and feed his family with the murdered animals. But now Mrigari, he stopped that profession and he started chanting the holy names of the Lord and following the orders of his saintly guru. And by doing that, he had everything and more. All the people around him loved him and respected him, and all they wanted to do was to help him and give him, help sustain his life, and he can give them spiritual wisdom. So anyway, this is Mrigari's destination. But this is a proof. This instance is proof. The difference between bhakti and karma. Karma, you can go hunt throughout the world. Everyone's hunting for something. I'm going to be the PhD, and I'll be the expert in this field, and I'll be here and this, and you can hunt, and it's very hard work and difficult work. Okay. But maybe, just maybe, some saintly person will reach you in your life, and you'll come in contact, and they'll engage you. And they'll say, stop this nonsense. What are you doing chasing? Give up your bow. This destination, you're building so much karma. I'm very fearful for what you're going to get in the future engaging in all this karma. Stop all these things. Just focus on your devotional life. And it doesn't mean everyone has, all right, we'll all quit our jobs tomorrow. Are you guys ready? Let's all quit our jobs. No, it's not what it means. What it means is you have to quit a certain way of life, of chasing the results. Chasing, yes, I'm going to get this result. I have these goals. Give up your goals. If you want to really fulfill all your desires, give them up. And then Krishna will fulfill them all anyway. You'll have everything you need. But give it up. Your desires aren't important. What is really important is your contact with the saints of this world. So make contact. Find them. We will help you find them. We invite saintly people here. And let your desires become their desires. And when your desires become their desires, Krishna will be so pleased because that's Krishna's representative. And by you acting to please them, then naturally, Krishna will give you everything and take care of you, just like he took care of Mrigari. Mrigari didn't have to go out hunting anymore. I've even seen in my life, just by doing some services that, my gurus have wanted me to do in my life, Krishna has taken care of things in a way that I'm shocked. I'm just going to tell you something because I don't know. But we're in contact with a woman in near or she's actually out of Mayapur. I'm going to meet her in Mayapur next week. I don't know, nothing is set in stone. But I'm just telling you how amazing Krishna is. This woman, I've heard about her before because she had taken, she has this wonderful property just outside of Tallahassee, like a farm property like this. And this property has, it's so much facility, but she wants to turn it into like a devotional like retreat center and things like this. Simultaneously, Keshava Gopal, who's my spiritual business partner, you could say, he had me visit there a few years ago. She had donated this property very generously because her Guru Maharaj wanted it to use her wealth in Krishna service, and she had this property and she wanted to use it like this. So another couple was running it for some years, but something happened where it didn't work out for whatever reason. So Keshava Gopal was like, I want to tell you something. This remember that property we visited? And he personally had a little like falling out with the devotees who were managing it. And so, but he was like, but the woman, I talked to her and she said that it's open again and she's looking for someone to manage this thing. So, interestingly enough, Syracuse in the winter is terrible here. And it's very difficult to do any preaching. It's very difficult. And we've seen, the people who are staying in the ashram, if they're not engaged all day in some type of duty, all kinds of material desires and things can come, or they might not be able to be engaged all day. So I was struggling with this, my wife's struggling with this, and everything, and so we just want to go out and preach more. But somehow or other, also simultaneously, I told you I was working to try to get some money so I can fix up this other property, because we want to have Abhiram be in a good environment for his raising, We're living on top of many people and Airbnbs and he's crawling and this isn't really the greatest environment where you can't go outside and touch the soil and things like that. It's not really a great circumstance for him. So anyway, we were working to try and get this property in order and nothing worked. I tried so many things this year and I just stopped. Karma, stop. Karma. Nope. So anyway, I decided I would give it up, but then Keshava Gopal reached out to me, and now I'm set to talk with her. But from just the little bit of conversation I had with her last night, I had a very, very good feeling, and I have a feeling that it may be very likely that this property is going to come under Mantra Central's expansion, and we're going to work in the winters, and who knows, for other portions of the year, with Tallahassee and the devotees there, and expanding. Because that's what Krishna wants. Actually. And just seeing now, that same desire I was working for, this other property, we have to get this, it's in the country and all these things, it just actually came. And way easier, it's much better situation. We'd have to fix so many things and all those other things. It just like came. So I'm just telling you, it works. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it in my life over and over again, it works. Don't think, alright, well, that's just a book saying that, that's just a story. I just told you 2 of my own stories, in my own life. And now I'm seeing it's about to happen again. So don't take the path of karma. It doesn't mean quit your job, don't give up your job, but give up the goal of whatever you want from the job. Give it up. Because it's not nearly as good as what your life could be. Put your desires in the hands of the spiritual masters. Put your desires in the hands of the devotees and the gurus in your life. Stop making your own plans. It's just going to give you a headache after headache after headache. Stop it. Practice bhakti. Bhakti means it's not for your pleasure, not to try to get something of your own. Bhakti means try to give something to Krishna. What does that mean? We have to do that which is pleasing to our gurus, because they're the representatives of Krishna in this world. And if you do that, Krishna will give you everything. And way better. If I would have gotten the money to fix up this other property this year, it wouldn't be half as nice as this property. Wouldn't be half as nice. I've been there, it's beautiful. I can't even believe that Krishna is arranging such a thing. And I don't know, nothing's set in stone, but I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. But I'm just telling you, everything else that's already happened in my life is also proof to me. I don't need this to happen for that to be proof. It could all fall through and I'll trust that's Krishna's plan. But anything that you desire will be better, it will come true better than you can desire if you just give up your desire and you serve Krishna. And then if you do that, you'll be blissful and you'll get everything you need and more. So just, please, that's my departing message for you all. I hope that was suitable. Hare Krishna. Grantharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Is there any burning question or is it pretty clear? Clear? Good? Tanmay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so you're gonna come and be engaged in bhakti more with the devotees here?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to work hard for so many things. You can get everything easy. Just do what makes Krishna happy and you'll get everything and more. So anyway, let's do Arti. Yeah, Hare Krishna.